Okay, hello, welcome. Welcome to our channel, Jewish Psychology. We want to talk today about fatigue, tiredness. That I feel, we are in a very special days in Israel. After the massacre on the 7th of October, you feel that, it was like you faced a disaster and now you must elevate yourself, lift yourself from the place you are and start to believe again in life and in what you are doing and push yourself forward and start doing things and getting back to work. And it's not easy. And most people that you will talk to are suffer from, so I'm not talking about the warriors that are in the Gaza Strip or in near Lebanon border. I'm talking about, the regular citizens. They feel a bit like tiredness, fatigue. I feel so exhausted. I don't have any power to elevate myself, to do things. I just want to stay in bed all day long. Sometimes even to go outside with my children, it's like a task, a heavy task, because I feel my body wants to get down, to lay down. I don't have any power and any energy, and it's one of the most important things in our life, in our daily life, especially in those days, is to have motivation. Motivation is your energy. Without your engine, which is your motivation, which is your emotions, without right emotions, it's very hard to push yourself forward and to gain things. Everything is about motivation and energy. Without energy, it's so hard to succeed and to do new things and to get back to the things that you did. Fatigue, it's a very natural tendency of the body. Why? Because the way that the soul animates the body, it does not animate it in a straight rhythm flow of liveliness. It's like the soul brings liveliness to the body like waves. It brings a lot of liveliness, and then all the liveliness get back, all the powers, all the faculties get back to their source. And now you have, it's like you will understand it better from the physical point of view. When I do sport and I'm doing exercise and my muscles are being, there is a lot of effort on my muscles. And then when I rest, only then my muscles are starting to develop themselves. It's the same in the soul. It's like, it's a way that the soul animates the body. It brings a lot of liveliness. Now you feel energetic and you want to do things and you want to stand and to teach and to sell whatever you're doing. And then there are those times that I need to stop everything, to rest a little bit. And those times that like my energy, my powers getting backwards, they're going back to their source. They're going back to the source in order to develop themselves and to get back stronger. This is a very natural fatigue and tiredness that each one of us knows and know how to deal with and know how to rest. But we are not talking about the natural fatigue. We're talking about mental fatigue. It's not the tiredness of the body. The body is not exhausted. You didn't do anything that is, you didn't do any major effort. It's an everyday life. The problem is the mental tiredness, that you feel that you don't have any more energy and it's not natural, and it will not bring you in the next step with more powers, with more liveliness, with more animation of the body. It won't bring you more life because you are not resting after an effort. So before we'll ask, how can we deal with that? We should ask, what is the source of this mental fatigue? If you feel tired because of the body, rest a little bit, sleep 8 hours, and you will wake up strong like you were before. But if you feel fatigue, mental fatigue, what is the reason for that? And most of Israelis nowadays, and I think Jews all over the world, are suffering from lack of sleeping hours. Why? Because of too much, scrolling and looking at the news and movies and videos, and it's very natural. But this is not the reason. The reason is that we feel, the reason for fatigue is that we feel helplessness. I don't feel that I'm affecting, that I'm influencing reality, that I'm bringing my life become valueless. I don't have any value in my life. So many people are getting killed. So many great things are happening. So if I'm not in a best unit and doing something extraordinary, I feel that my life, it's not so important. Nothing is really important, and the things that I did before the war now seems like not so important. And the worst thing, that feeling helplessness, that I feel that I'm not affecting the reality. Everything is doomed. I cannot change things. I cannot make the change. And one of the most important things that brings me power and motivation and helps me control my energy is the thought that I know, the mindset that I know that I am influencing, that I have something value. I have a lot of value to bring to the world, and it doesn't matter what am I doing. And when I'm starting feeling that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you will do, where you will go, how you will act. People are dying. What is your story? You want to compare your story to the stories that we hear every day now. So what is the result? That the soul says to itself, says to the body, why should I bring you liveliness? Why should I bring you more energy if you do not believe that you are influencing, if you won't use it? So if you don't feel that you are doing something valuable, if you don't evaluate yourself, then you won't get enough energy. And what is tiredness? What is fatigue? Fatigue is the result of lack of energy, lack of liveliness. The soul does not bring liveliness to the body. The body is nothing. It's a mundane thing. It's without the liveliness of the soul, it cannot move. It is stuck. So it needs more liveliness. Sometimes we have too much energy, too much liveliness, and it's disturbs us from focusing and from deciding where to go. But this is another question that we shall deal in another chapter, in another episode. Now we are speaking about a situation that I don't have enough energy, that the soul does not bring me enough animation, that does not animate me and push me forwards, and does not give me the key to my energetic engine, let's say it's like that. So before we'll answer what we should do and how we should overcome the situation, how we should convince the soul that we are influencing, we should understand that there are two separate ways that the soul is being convinced that it should give you more liveliness. And it's like, it's your soul, but there are two separate tracks, let's say it's like that, or trajectories, that if you walk in one of them, that the soul says, okay, I'll bring you more liveliness, you will feel more alive, I will animate the body more. One trajectory, one course is like it in the language of Chasidism, of the mystical literature, it calls closeliness. In Hebrew, it's bchinat keruv. What does it mean, closeliness? That I feel that I'm close to the light. What does it mean? I feel that I'm influencing. I'm in my place. I feel pleasure. I feel that I'm doing the right thing. And wow, this is such a great feeling, because I feel that it's an enormous, it's very quiet experience in life, because there is nothing noisy, but I feel that I'm doing what I need to do. And feeling in your place, our sages says that there is no present like the present of knowing that you are walking in the right trajectory to you. I'm ready to walk very hard, but I want to know that this is the right path that belongs to me. This is my path. This is my way. This is the way that I should walk on. And usually when I'm not really sure that this is the trajectory that I should choose, the lack of confidence that this is mine brings me to a place that I don't have any energy to walk on it. Think about even marriage. If you're not sure that this is your spouse, if you're not sure, and each one of us think about it sometimes through his relationship, thinks that maybe if I would get married with another person and not with my wife. Maybe I should have been in another place. Maybe I deserve something else. Maybe this is not the right relationship for me. And when you think like that, what is the result? The result that you become a little bit cold. You don't have enough energy and enough liveliness to compromise, to fall in love, to work on your marriage. Why? Because the thought that this is not the right place for you. And the opposite, the vice versa, it's like, if I feel that this is the right place for me, and she is my wife, I'm ready to do anything and to overcome all the difficulties and all the obstacles, because this is the path, this is my marriage, this is my wife, and it is right to everything that I'm dealing in life. And this is one way that you make your soul feels like, okay, let's work on it. Let's do it. Give me more energy. I'm on the right track. Let's run together. And it calls like very silence energy. Why? Because you are on the track. You're doing what you need to do. You don't have to scream. You don't feel that you are in another place. And there is another trajectory that through it, if I'm there, I can convince the soul to bring me more liveliness, more powers, more energy. And this is called in Hebrew, bchinat richuk. It's like not closeliness, but angriness, let's say it's like that. Feeling from far away. What does it mean? Sometimes I know the truth. I know where I should be. I know, I feel it, I understand that I'm not in my place. I understand that I should take myself to another place, but I'm angry to reach there. I'm not looking at it and saying, oh, this is so far away, I will never get it. I'm angry. And when you are angry, you are not there yet, but you want to get there. And when you want to get there, you want to push yourself more. So the soul is being convinced that you need more energy in order to elevate yourself, in order to push yourself, because you're angry. You want to reach something. And it's like I'm seeing it from far away, but I want to reach that place. And in those days, it's very hard to feel that I'm in my place and feel pleasure and feel connected and feel close. So it's, from natural reasons, we should choose the second trajectory, the trajectory of convincing the soul to bring us more powers in order to overcome the fatigue from the point of view of angry. Like I'm not full. I want it more. I worked with politicians for more than 10 years, and I saw a politician that wasn't hungry, and he was like, I don't really want to be in the Israeli parliament. Then he didn't got to the parliament again. Why? Because when you are not hungry, you do not work enough. You do not, you feel, okay, you live things like to do it like that. You must be hungry. Hungry, it's like, it's a way to push yourself. It's a way to elevate yourself. And it brings you a lot of liveliness and a lot of passion to life. So what does it mean to be hungry? What does it mean? There is a beautiful verse in Mishlei that King Solomon is saying. He's saying like that. I'll say it in Hebrew and then I'll translate it. Nefesh svea tavus nofet ונפש רעבה כל מר מתוק. Sated person, a person that is full, that ate too much, when you bring him honey, he dislikes the honey. He doesn't want the honey, because when you ate so much and you are full, somebody will bring you another cake, you won't enjoy the cake. But if you are hungry, and now we are speaking about the mental angriness, not a physical angriness. But if you're hungry, anything bitter seems to you like sweet. You want it more. So it's like the idea of King Solomon here is, when you are angry, everything bitter is sweet. When you are full and everything that is sweet is bitter, because you don't need it anymore. So what's the idea? The Rabbi Arashab, the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe, is saying something very important to understand about being hungry. He's saying like that, something like that. He's saying there are two ways to be hungry, to develop hungriness in you. One way is not to eat. But when you are not eating, it's very hard. And the other way is to eat a lot, but in small small amounts. Now, after you eat a lot in small amounts, you're ready. You got used to eat a lot, so you want a lot of food. And we're not talking about here about regular food. Of course, we're talking about spiritual food. What does it mean, spiritual food? The more you will teach yourself how to develop angriness, to being influence, to get more from things, that to understand that you have a purpose in life, and you have value to bring to the world, and people are waiting to you. The more you will work on your mindset, the more you will be able to what? To convince yourself, to convince the soul to animate the body, to have more energy. Because this is the reason why you do not have energy, because you say, what's my life means? It doesn't mean very much now. And so I'm so tired. When you will understand that everything that you are doing is full of value that you bring to the world, and you are needed, but it's not about you. When you think that it's about you and you are in the center, you will fall down, because you don't really want to influence. You want to receive. It's all about you. You want people to speak about you. You want people to buy from you, not because of you bring them value, because they want them to appreciate you. So the main question that we have to deal now is, how should I develop? How should I be angry? How should I push myself to be more angry through eating more? So several of ways to do that. The first one, in this fight, in this war that started on the 7th of October, and on the Sabbath of Simchat Torah, I spoke with a few warriors from elite units, and they say the one that succeeded more than the soldiers that succeeded more than others, those that took the initiative and worked on, and they were very. It's all about micro tactic. It's not about strategic. The fights were like, you should be such a good soldier, and it was all on your soldiers. It wasn't connected if you were, an officer or ranked high in the army. It doesn't matter. If you weren't a good soldier, you wouldn't be alive now. So it's all about the way you fought. So the whole idea is that all the value that what we can appreciate from this war is that if you work on yourself, every person can influence. And if you take the initiative, and if you work on yourself, and if you know where to be in the right place, and you push yourself, and usually most people that stayed closed in their bunkers had very hard time. And those that went out and fought had statistically more chances to be alive and to succeed and to push the enemy. So it's all about the individual, and the message is huge. You are influencing whatever you are doing, even you are doing small things, even you are smiling to a family. The second very important thing is that you are not a victim. What does it mean you are not a victim? If you are a victim, you cannot be an influencer. I spoke with them 3 days ago. It was the 30 days from the massacre, and I went to one family. The child was 27 years old, and he was murdered while he was on his way out of the party of Nova. I believe you heard about it. And because he came very early, then he got out very first. And those that went out first were shot first. And he was with two friends. And one of the mothers of one of his friends that was in his car said something like that. He said, I spoke with my child on 740, and on 741 he was murdered. And the only way that I'm gaining power from the idea that he wasn't a victim. He died like in 30 seconds. When they were happy and smiling in the car, and they didn't even understand what is happening. And I'm so happy that they didn't go through all this Holocaust, all those terrified things that they were going through. So, and it's very powerful things that this mother said, Simona, the mother of Liam. It's very powerful because she said something. When you are feeling a victim, even if you are a victim, and even if it's your last breath, you don't want to feel a victim. You want to feel that you have that you have an abundance mindset, that life is not against you, and you have confidence, and you're not a victim of no one, and nobody took from you something that was not belong to you. It's very hard to think like that, but it's the only way to take yourself from a place that everything is, that you can change nothing in reality, to a place that it's all about you. And this way of thinking takes you from a place of being a victim to a place of being an influencer. And the third idea that I want to share with you is that in order to overcome fatigue, you must eat. What does it mean to eat? You must learn about the consciousness that you weren't created for nothing. And if you are here being created, there is a reason for that. So you need to take an hour a week at least to learn about what does it mean to be an influencer. What does it mean that you have value? What does it mean that you're not without a reason? And the last thing that I want to share is, if you want to overcome a fatigue, you have to connect yourself to something higher than you. And when you connect yourself to something higher than you, when you know you are only here as an emissary, and you have to deliver, it's not about you, as you said before, to deliver the content. The Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Chabad movement, is saying something beautiful. He's saying, on Shabbos, through the praying, we say, all people will rejoice your kingship and will be in a pleasure, and they will be full and they will be in pleasure and from your kindness. And there is this question: if you are full, you don't we said before, you don't find pleasure in what you eat anymore, because there is a contradictory. You are full, you cannot eat more. So how come that you are full and still feeling pleasure in eating more? He says this is in the spiritual way, in the spiritual life. When you are connected to something that is higher than you, what happens? That you are not hungry, but you are hungry. You want more, even though you're full, even though you learn. It cannot happen in the physical world. It can happen only in the spiritual world. So in order that it will happen, you have to in those days, to take time to learn more, to discover more. What are you connected to? Do you take yourself downward? Do you speak with people that always say, "Oh, everything is black, and there is a disaster, and everything is falling apart, and Third World War is in the door"? Or you are speaking with people that elevates you and brings you to a point that you believe that things can change, and optimism, it's the drug of life, and it's the most important thing. It's the most important mindset. Okay. Jewish Psychology are more than welcome to join our channel. We stopped a little bit to upload videos, but we really want to continue with that. And see you in the next video, in the next episode. All the best.